Ole Pupu Thathang. So finally nang pat question ka dong theta. Pupu po la chu ka record so ta Pupu lal Pupu sorry Pupu lal ha to Pupu lu na dong ka record khalo hai. I don't know why. Ka manghel ka afterwards ka record dia so you're going to be the third the fourth person who I'm going to record in the list. Pupu Ting Ting song here so I'll list song. So I'll quickly just ask question. Pupu asi news nanga mu fe taong ba na how na react I mean how did you react when you found out the news that
About Pupu?
yeah about Pupu when he expired?
I'm like sad but somewhat relieved.
Somewhat relieved.
Sad but it's kind of relieving also because he's suffering a lot.
All that day nang video call I don't know if you were nakamo kaplo ka thelo mama but nunu kamu hai amachu kapya but nang na spec kharwin lakhya so I just assume nang kapmo na kap I mean the tear up mo at least I guess
I think I was not there on the video call.
hello na omena hello hudniya na kola mama meeting tin na kola tin 5:38 will the
Okay.
yeah that day
5:30. Yes, sure, I called your mama.
hmm
No, it's in the evening.
I called but she didn't pick up the phone.
hello ipick up then who's what kagena
The
that
one who make the call.
yeah oh sorry mama nu nahi hai nangin hi ka sa sorry all that's one thing so that makes one thing so Pupu pass away bin kumena how do you take it a blessing or a curse or just not neutral
Means?
do you take it as a blessing like if you look at it as a blessing you can take it as in a sense that in a blessing if you look at it that Pupu man it's been I guess a pain but to get relief ta na ka relief mus ki ta hi mea
I see relief because
yeah
Pupu is getting old and he's becoming dependent.
Yeah.
And he's still very conscious of
Yes.
what's happening.
Mhm.
You know, if you can't do anything alone, it's kind of like you have some pride in you, and you know that they are not comfortable, but they don't have a choice.
yeah
Both between them.
makes sense since these are questions are specifically asked to you Omana and Nuno because you took care of Pupu especially Omana I remember that you always said that I always remember that Pastor Reverend or Pastor James Pupu Omana amai nang offer siya Omana to join his foundation foundation na you rejected for the meanwhile because your reason is that I want to take care of Pupu and Pipi until my father and mother until they're gone since it's the best thing I could do for them so so yeah that is for so Pupu to Pipi like an kupe so till now Pupu Sita you served him till the best of your abilities you've done everything you've done you could aday akwan hovilla sopa nethi amadi breakfast dinner lunch hovilla nethi dinakanga ama toilet azon helpa and
Sometimes,
yeah and then almost everything else you help along with Nuno also
yeah.
so do you feel satisfied that you did your job until the very end you were able to serve him until the very end yes
I like to believe that I did my best because it's something I've been hoping to do for a long time because I
Yes.
was working and I was working outside. I can't do anything. Everything happens at the right place at the right
Right
time.
time.
Stay at home. And I know that your book is not going to last long.
Yeah.
I consider it a privilege to do
Yeah.
what I do.
Now that you said it,
Quite happy,
that is
satisfied.
actually really great to know. Now that you said that, you were one of the privileged few,
Yeah, yes.
along with Nunu and you to stay with Pupu until his very last moments. Yeah. So and for example, my mama, because I don't remember about Pupu and the mama song 2.5 years, 2 years and 10 months na. Pupu mulo hai na, like, and she was very excited actually to meet him, but at the end she wasn't able to meet him, unfortunately. Yeah, so how do you feel to be one of the privileged few to actually stay with him until his very last moments, like to talk with him when he was still alive, in real life?
I think like something that God planned for my life, putting me at the right place at the right time.
Time.
Nothing to do with what I want. I see that God planned what I do.
I see, actually.
Something like a divine intervention.
Yeah,
God yes. Prepared it for Pupu and for me. So the intersection is there.
yeah, makes
It
sense.
makes sense.
That makes sense actually. All just I'll say this, although this is completely out of the context of na. Till now, if all the pupus I have talked of na, all of you have different answers, and but at the end your opinions when summarized up, all in the end are pretty much the same only. That you are happy.
That's similar.
They are all similar in the end. That you're all happy.
Yeah, yeah.
That happy. Sure, you were sad for a while, grief, cause
Happy in the sense that because Pupu
has
spent most of his life seeking God.
yes, and
And he
at the end he finally got it.
He even told your mama that if God wants to take me home, I'm ready. So I mean,
Yes,
in some way, he's where he wants to be.
yeah, that is.
Yeah. It's said that he's going to leave us, but he's where he wants to be.
But at least he got what he wanted. That is, which is a great thing. Yeah. This is a rather easy or hard question as you would take it, that I ask from every Pupu man, every Pupu, that how did you cope? Cope would be cope or hide your grief from Pupu's death.
Kind of difficult to say, but you try to do it privately as much as possible. But sometimes you try to avoid to be in a situation where you become emotional.
Like when you're about to cry, you forget about it. You try to forget it, and then you.
Because the memory is very
You see, there was Pupu, one of his video calls home, na? Yes, one of his last video calls. I remember one of his last wishes that Kasisya na all of you napai di mo kay ka funeral hali. So as we can see now, that wish has been fulfilled, fulfilled, pretty much fulfilled, and we have found out what the answer is, and the answer was very positive. Everybody came to the best of their abilities. Everybody came. So how do you feel that it was? How Yes, correct. What satisfied that it was fulfilled?
He's satisfied in the sense that because your Pupu was not well since
Hmm.
Saturday night,
Hmm. Hmm.
he was becoming very serious. I was like, in the back of my mind, I was thinking that he may, leave us on Saturday night. So thankfully, he prolonged his struggle till Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon.
Say probably around Sunday evening or afternoon morning.
Yeah, 12 fella. Yeah. Yeah.
I should say it happened at the right time because say if it happens on Sunday night, then most of them won't be able to come.
Yes.
But it happens around at the right time so that see your Pupu Mama and Pupu Lord they can catch the flight just in time to reach the
Hmm.
right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Happens at the right time.
Yes.
I mean the timing is impeccable.
Yes. Since you were the 1 year old man, so these questions are only limited to you and boy Nunu because you were the only ones who were here, right? When you were sitting here with Pupu's body, man, and people started to come in and give their condolences. How did you feel with the overwhelming response?
Very awkward because it's like a night, like a dream, but it happened. You don't want it to be real,
But it happened.
what can you do? Have to cope with it.
Huh?
What can I do? I have to cope with it. I'm sorry, I'm just getting a call.
Pause the interview.
Pause the interview, Peter. Peter, you have to pause.
Sorry.
Okay, quickly, I'll just ask you. So, sorry.
The moment it happens, everyone came rushing, trying to take care of your Pupu. We dressed him and then Boyi was taking his clothes and all the other people came to help him.
Yeah.
Don't have to do anything and there are lots of people crying around and very intense.
When you heard that, when you and Nunu man, heard that my mom was coming, Pupu Mama was coming, Pupu Paul was coming, Pupu Loon was coming, and everybody else actually. Everyone, Pupu Lal was also coming, Pu Siam was also coming. So, yes. How do you feel at the moment? And how did moral support feel like? Did it feel
Peter will
how
interview you.
important do you think it was?
Puthang is done.
Because initially I know that your mama and Pupu Paul is coming.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that the others are coming. I only find it out later.
Yes.
Love marriage, arranged
In one
marriage.
sense, your Pupu brought us all together. Because the last time we were together was in your Pupu Mama wedding,
Mm-hmm.
2016.
2016.
It was almost 4.5 years.
Mm.
So, and this is your Pupu.
Mm. Mm. When after Mama and Pupu and everyone reached home, man, the atmosphere here was very gloomy, right? Very gloomy, right? Gloomy, yeah. So during that gloomy mood, how did you feel and how did you feel? That's the first part of the question, and the second part is, and how did you cheer up yourself?
You're talking about taking care of your Pupu after everyone leaves.
Huh?
Your question is about what do I feel when I was taking care of your Pupu?
No. My question is that, like, when everybody was gathered, Pupu body, coffin ki koi zo, then everybody gathered around him, just to give their final rites. Like the program was there, held there. So Mama, Oma, Pupu Loon, Pupu, everyone was there. So during that, it was having a gloomy atmosphere that time. So that time, man, how did you feel? Yeah, how did you feel in that atmosphere?
It's comforting and like
So that's
nice to be together once again.
so the presence of other family members, your brothers and sisters cheered you up.
Very comforting.
Yeah, that's actually
It's like you feel safe
yes. Like na elder brother thing, sister thing, paiye.
because you don't have to handle everything alone.
Yes. had everything alone and sang to that. I actually am asking very personal question nang pato man na.
You can continue later on.
No, I really want to actually a question kathe and but I'm not sure whether I should ask it or not.
No, you can ask. Nothing wrong with asking questions.
Yes. You see, this should be when God. You see when the atmosphere was very gloomy, oh man. After service was done, oh man, a funeral service was done. How did you? When I came here, as Pupu Thathang joked, I'm pretty sure you know that he joked that Pete napaisya. I don't even know if that was a joke anymore. Napaisya, nakap idea. So I was like, I had myself decided that if the mood was gloomy, I would just keep silent, oh man, and not talk with anyone. Because if I was very talkative, it might be irritating to people who were just coping with their grief. But when I came in, I found something completely different. Very surprising, actually. I thought that everybody would be crying. But instead, I found everybody. Cracking jokes and making fun with each other. It almost felt like nothing that bad on a scale of that bad actually ever happened. Like when I first saw my mom, I thought she would be teary-eyed at least, but she seemed normal as always. And when I saw you guys, you were also completely normal, cracking jokes. Yeah. So, how did you manage to change the atmosphere inside the house so much?
Because whatever happened on Sunday evening, Monday, and when your Pupu bought this, everyone was like struggling to contain their emotions. After we deal with him in the afternoon, and then we made our peace that your Pupu is gone.
There's nothing that can change it.
So we deal with the memories. I think we sometimes have to do the coping mechanism. In the culture at home, people crack lots of jokes, not because they're happy, but sometimes it's a way
To cheer.
to contain their emotion also in one way. Because when you crack jokes, you laugh and you don't
Yeah.
get emotional. I think that works for most people.
For most people usually.
I think that's what happens.
Yeah. Tell me honestly, because you are the person here, who was the longest here actually. Tell me, in all of your brothers and sisters, who teared up the most, who showed the most emotion out of all, like who wasn't able to contain as much as the others, relative to the others, yes.
Can I see your people?
I guess so. It must have been overwhelming for her
And Boinu also, because she's been taking off your Pupu
for years and years.
For me, I came here in December.
But she's been taking care of him for years and years, yes.
For her, they've been together for so long.
Yes.
For me, though, I came outside and came back. So I'm here for less than a year.
Yes.
More than 30 years.
In that less time of a year, you certainly created many memories.
Yeah, definitely.
Most of them were happy.
Yeah.
Just the last few were rather sad.
Yeah.
Sad, but with a purpose, rather. Yeah, that would be the end of my questions. Now you can ask me any questions. At least ask me three. At least ask me three. You can ask as much as you want.
If somebody asks you about your Pupu, how do you remember him?
How do you remember him? How will you write him? How will I describe my Pupu?
Yeah, how will you answer if people ask you about your Pupu?
Well, if I'm going to answer it honestly, I would just say that unlike my mom and my sister, I wasn't very, 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 very close to my. I was close, yes, certainly I was close, but I was not like, like, not like very, very close. Unlike my mother and father, I was just like it was just close. That's all. I- Although we respected each other mutually. He also liked my company. I also liked his company. Ama to tong hopi nom so he le chu. Hopi. Ama to tong hopi chu nom mama actually at where laya a walking stick sound every time. Every time yeah paisa a walking stick sound always kiza here. So well yeah so who pen yeah and I would describe him talking with him would sometimes feel like sometimes would feel like an angel talking to a devil. I do understand that all of us here are sinners, yes, but Pupu kaits yeah Amazon sinner he lezong a role to man like as a reverend and a pastor man not a family race of kids yeah I feel like really down compared to him. Down meaning not in social ranking, just in terms of religion, pureness, let's just say. Pure of sin, contents of sin, like, like,
Joy, something
like, yeah, like, he tried his best to not do any sins. Meanwhile, I have, God, I don't know how many years, but I've sinned pretty freely, that I can admit that, honestly. Yeah, that's the first question. So, what would your second question be, Pooh?
The second question would be like, you know your mother pretty well, I guess.
What
You
happened?
know your mother pretty well, right?
Yes.
And you're very close. What do you notice from your mother reactions?
To propose, that's
Yeah. How do you describe your mother relationship with your people?
well, firstly, he was a father figure for her, I can say for sure. Father figure. And yes, since PP was very hardworking and yes, he was hardworking and had to consume her time was mostly consumed up in the field, so man. And but she came back. At the time she came back to time, so so I guess so mama to Pupu to close, yes, very close. One of the closest. Even in terms relative to everyone here, I'm not saying that you weren't close. I'm not saying that you all were close, but from what I've heard and how she described it, she was very close to him. Very took, like so close that when her flight ticket, when she heard her death, then I was like, a flight ticket, I didn't expect her to be mentally stable enough to go on a flight. Mentally stable enough flight. Yeah. So that's why again my ever na feel hoy loli why flight attendant te khatto counselor khatto pio nang help here. And wait, one way, just quickly explain this quickly. And I was certainly very relieved when I heard that Pupu Ting together Delhi Hamudia they'll go together because they can all have a relatable problem, that they can relate with each other that at the same level of grief they have. But yes, Mama Pupu they're very close. Extremely close. Yeah, that's all. What would your other questions be, Pooh?
I have one more question.
You can ask more if you want, rather than only one.
I'm the fourth guy you interview, right?
Yes, correct.
What do you think is the common trait that you see in how he responds to
What a commentary till now.
Yeah, the common trait, how
Um,
we see him living us. What is
Your question is actually question is pretty good and actually very simple to answer.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly note it down. You all accepted Pupu's death as just an act of God. It was God's decision that nobody can argue with. Yeah. Nobody can argue with. All of you silently, in your own way, privately grieved for him. But eventually, as grief doesn't always stay, you all eventually got out of that hole and came out. Yeah, basically. That's what I saw. Eventually, all of you. and all of you were very close to Pupu, and you all were morally supported by each other, very heavily. Like the coming of Pupu's was certainly a very a very huge moral support and moral boost for anyone. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that, and though I'll just ask you. I'll just say this. There's some conflicting views somewhere, na. So since I have two people, Pupu Lalinumana, he said that, well, not expected. He didn't expect it. Certainly not expect, but he wasn't surprised when he heard that Pupu had passed away. And but you, I'm reviewing you, but you also gave the same answer with Pupu Paul and Pupu Loan, that you were surprised by Pupu's sudden death. Although that is just the one controversy, the one thing all of you didn't agree on, and the one last thing that I really like that you all agree on, that is that Pupu died a peaceful death, the way you would just have liked it. And all of you agreed that all of you were rather satisfied. All of you were satisfied with the fact that one of his last wishes were fulfilled. Yeah. Good thing he may. Yeah, Dongolayo.
What do you see and know about the book so far? What do you think is like his biggest character or principles that
His biggest character.
you love to have in your life? You can model your life around.
He was.
When you celebrate people's lives.
Yes. I guess
Because there's some people
he was very gentle.
environment.
Like, from what I've heard, he was very gentle, and although PP was very. She didn't have the time, so that's why she was just a bit more rough than Pupu. Pupu was extremely gentle and would never hit, hit meaning like disciplinary action, wouldn't never take disciplinary action, and was a person more of words rather than physical action. Meanwhile, PP was, due to the short time she had forced under the circumstances, she was forced to take more radical actions, which were her only choice. Honestly, she didn't have a choice because she had to work in the fields, come back home, instruct the children on what to do, cook the rice and cook food, etc. Yeah, so what I really liked about Pupu is his gentleness and kindness and brutal honesty that, like, people usually keep some secret from me. Even you, I'm pretty sure you keep hiding some secret from me. All of you Pupus are hiding at least one secret from me. But he was that Pupu would just open his mouth and say everything that came into his mind. He was he just said everything in his mind, and it wasn't biased or covered by anything. It was just an honest opinion, which I completely respect and which should be followed by everyone else. That you should let out your own opinions. Like, I always keep this, now that I said this, that usually I keep in server chat box over a rule, one of the main rules that please not blatantly attack other people because their opinions are not same with you. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions, and other people also should respect your opinion. And also the second rule that I made was related to criticism. Criticism is, there are two types of criticism. One, blatant criticism, which is just blabbering anything which doesn't make sense and just trying to make a person look bad and make his work look bad or make his work look bad. But constructive criticism too, it's like saying that it could be improved, like this part can be improved, like. But problem is that it's very hard to differentiate because most usually people aren't very happy to hear criticism, है ना. So they can't differentiate between those two, like
Yeah, yeah.
a differentiate थे लोग. Like I remember this one time that कल थे खत मेहंदी आर्ट बोले है ना, मेहंदी आर्ट something to painting दो. अब बोला hand pen को twisted जो है ना, like hand was supposed to be like this but it was like this, so it looked very odd. So I just said that the drawing is good, man. I just could, if you could adjust that hand, man, nal so diye. Nal so diye. Then suddenly somebody in choir class में देखा then why again? Nobody asked for your opinion. Kain so bange mo what? Mama in stop khalo le ka he tha swadan something to something again kha diya. Mama if mo khalo le something to something ka mouth ko open diya Amazon but ka open de lo. Yeah, that's all I can say. That's so Pupu Thathang. Kindness to honesty. A kindness to honesty. Yes. Putting him here. Yeah, anything?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.